Namaskar. Last week we read chapter 40 and 49 and 50 of Rudra Samhita section 5. In this we read that Shukra came out of the belly of Shiva through his penis and was accepted as son by Parvati. He was made unaging and undying by Shiva. Shukra saw Andhaka staked to the trident of Lord Shiva, performing severe penance courageously and meditating upon 108 forms of Lord Shiva. Andhaka was drenched with the shower of divine nectar by Lord Shiva, who forgave him and asked him to choose a boon. Andhaka asked for forgiveness for his sins. He also requested the Lord to bless him to always see Parvati as his mother and to be devoted to Lord Shiva and Parvati. He also requested him to make him forget about all the adverse qualities of the demons and to be able to stay with Shiva's ganas. He was then kissed on his forehead by Shiva and Parvati and secured everything he desired. Then Sanat Kumara narrated how Bhargava or Shukra gained the lore of ward of death by Shiva. He went to the city of Varanasi and performed severe penance for 5,000 years to appease Shiva. When he did not see the Lord, he performed even more unbearable penance and drank smoke and powdered husk or bits of grains for 1,000 years. Lord Shiva was delighted with his penance and appeared in front of him. Bhargava eulogized Lord Shiva greatly. Lord Shiva told Bhargava that he considered him as his son and granted him a boon that Bhargava will enter Shiva's body and will be born as his son through Shiva's penance. Shiva also gave him the lore in form of a mantra called Mantra Sanjeevani. He told Bhargava that if he repeated the mantra in respect of anyone, that person will return to life. After gaining Bhargava's several boons, Shiva vanished from there and Bhargava also returned to his abode. Today we'll read chapter 51 and 52, which is the story of Usha. The English reader today is Urvashi Aunty. We won't have any Hindi reading today. और शिवपुराण के लिए अगर आप सेवा लेना चाहते हैं, please do reach out to either Mansi Aunty or to Seema Aunty or to Rashmi Aunty so that we can keep you updated with how to get this seva. बहुत बहुत शुक्राना.
Jai Guruji, Anantam Shukrana for this seva. Chapter 51, The Story of Usha. Vyasa said, O omniscient Sanat Kumara, a wonderfully excellent story has been narrated with love and blessings by you. It is full of Shiva's benediction. I wish to know more of the story of the moon-crested Lord, wherein he gave the Asura Bana the position of the chieftain of his Ganas. Sanat Kumara said, O Vyasa, listen with reference to the story of Shiva, the great Atman, wherein it is explained how he bestowed the chieftain of his Ganas on the Asura Bana. Here is the good story of Shiva, the great Lord. Here too is the story of Shiva's fight with Krishna when the former blessed Bana. Listen from me the most befitting and the highly meritorious legend of the sports of Shiva. It is pleasing to the mind and to the ears. Marichi, the sage of great intellect, was the mentally created eldest son of Brahma. He was a Prajapati too. His son Kashyapa was a noble soul. He was the most excellent of all sages. He made the creation flourish well. He was devoted to his father and to Brahma. O Vyasa, 13 daughters of Daksha were his wives. They were of good conduct and very faithful to their husband, the sage Kashyapa. The eldest of the wives was Diti. The Daityas were her sons. The gods and others, including the mobile and immobile beings, were born to others. The eldest Diti had the heroic sons, Hiranyakashipu the elder and Hiranyaksha the younger. Hiranyakashipu had 4 sons. They were in order Hrada, Anuhrada, Samhrada and Prahlada. Prahlada was a great devotee of Vishnu. He had full control of his sense organs. The Daityas were unable to destroy him. His son Virochna was the most excellent of donors. He gave even his head to Indra, who requested for the same in the guise of a Brahmin. His son was Bali, who was a favorite of Shiva and a liberal donor. The earth was given by him to Vishnu, who assumed the form of a dwarf. His son Bana became a devotee of Shiva. He was highly respected and intelligent. He was truthful and a liberal donor, making thousands of charitable gifts. Staying in the Sonita town, he ruled over the three worlds after defeating several rulers forcefully. As a result of the grace of Shiva, the gods became the virtual servants of Bana, the devotee of Shiva. They were distressed by his enmity, although he practiced high virtues. In accompaniment of the instrumental music played by his thousand arms by means of the Tandava dance, he propitiated Shiva. Shiva, favorably disposed to his devotees, was highly delighted and satisfied by his dance, and he glanced at him with sympathetic eyes. The Lord of the worlds, worthy of being sought refuge in, the bestower of the desires of the devotees, asked the great demon, the son of Bali, to choose a boon he liked. Shiva said, "The great Daitya Bana, son of Bali, the foremost among the devotees and highly intelligent, bowed to Lord Shiva with devotion and eulogized him. The Asura Bana said, O great God, Lord of the gods, favorably disposed to those who seek refuge in you, O great Shiva, if you are pleased with me, be my guardian forever. Be present with me as the Lord of my city, along with your sons and Ganas. O Lord, be delightful to me in every respect." Sanat Kumara said, Bana, son of Bali, deluded by Shiva's deception, did not request anything else from Lord Shiva, who would have bestowed even salvation if asked, though he is hard to please. Shiva, who is favorably disposed to his devotees, granted boons to him and stayed there lovingly, along with his sons and his Ganas. Once Shiva performed divine sports in Sonita, the beautiful city of Bana, in the company of the gods and Asuras on the banks of a river. The Gandharvas and the celestial damsels danced and laughed. The sages performed japas, bowed to, worshipped, and eulogized him. The Pramathas jumped and shouted. The sages performed sacrifices. The groups of Siddhas came and saw the divine sport of Shiva. Malechas, adversaries, and evil-intentioned wranglers perished. The mothers sat facing him. The terrifying imps perished. The worldly faults of those who had the good conception of devotion to Shiva were forgotten. The sages and the Siddhas leapt and bounced on the seeing the activities of the women. The seasons displayed their power and nourished it. Gentle winds blew wafting the grey pollen dust. The flocks of birds, eager after honey, chirped on the trees. The cuckoo cooed sweetly in the forest and parks, generating love on the branches heavily laden with flowers. Then, being glanced at by Kama, who was not vanquished, the crescent-crested Lord Shiva, highly indulgent in sports, spoke to Nandin. The crescent-crested Shiva said, Go quickly from this forest and tell the dark-complexioned Parvati everything and bring her here from Kailasha after she has bedecked herself. Sanat Kumara said, So be it, answered the secret messenger of Shiva, who started on journey. Reaching there with palms joined in reverence, he bowed to Parvati and said, Nandishvara said, O goddess, the great lord of the gods wishes to see you, his beloved, well dressed. It is at his bidding that I say this. Sanat Kumara said, O excellent sage, then, at his importunity, Parvati, devoted to her husband, began to bedeck herself ardently. I am coming, you return, and so inform the Lord at my bidding. The Nandin approached Shiva with the velocity of mind. Shiva, who was extremely agitated, told Nandin again, Dear, go again and fetch Parvati from there. Yes, sir, said he. He went to Parvati of sweet appearance and said, Your Lord wishes to see you beautifully and gorgeously dressed. O goddess, Shiva is eagerly waiting for various sports. O daughter of the mountain, please go, since the Lord is distressed with passion. All the celestial damsels told one another, Since Lord Shiva is very eager to see Parvati, being passionate the lady whom this enemy of Kama may woo will certainly be the queen of the celestial damsels. She may sport with Lord Shiva in the form of Parvati, accompanied by the Ganas of Kama. Kama is indeed victorious over his foe. If any lady, save Parvati, is able to touch Shiva, let her go there unhesitatingly and fascinate him. The daughter of Kumbhanda, Chitralekha, said, I desire to attract Shiva in the form of Parvati. Just as Vishnu, by taking recourse to his yogic powers, assumed the form of enchantress Mohini. On seeing the change of form of Urvashi, Ghatrachi adopted the form of Kali and Vishwachi that of Chandika. Rambha assumed the form of Savitri, Menaka that of Gayatri, Sahajanya that of Jaya, and Punja Kashtali that of Vijaya. The unnamed celestial damsels assumed the forms of unnamed mothers with effort by employing their art. On seeing their forms, the daughter of Kumbhanda, taking recourse to Vaishnava and her own yogic, knew everything and emulated the same. Usha, daughter of the Asura Bana, efficient in divine yoga, assumed the wonderfully auspicious and divine form of Parvati. Her feet were of excellent lustre. They shone like the great red lotus. They had all the divine characteristics, bestowing every desired object. Knowing that she wanted to indulge in love sport with Shiva, the omniscient and omnipresent Parvati spoke. Parvati said, O friend Usha, chaste and honorable lady, since you have adopted my form out of passion, so you will have the monthly course in the appropriate time in the Kartika month. On the 12th day, in the bright half of the Vaishakha, you will undertake a fast. During the night, while you are asleep in the harem, a man will come there and enjoy you. He has been made your husband by the gods. You will sport with him. This is because you have been devoted to Vishnu ever since childhood, without sinking into lethargy. She then mumbled to herself, Let it be so, and was very bashful. Then the goddess Parvati bedecked herself zealously and went to Shiva. She then sported with him. O sage, at the end of the dalliance, Lord Shiva vanished from the place, accompanied by his wife, the Ganas, and the gods. Chapter 52, The Story of Usha. Sanat Kumara said, Listen to another story of Shiva, the great soul, which bestows the highest pleasure and wherein his endearment to his devotees can be seen. Formerly, the Asura Bana had pleased Shiva by performing the Tandava dance. By adverse fate, he became haughty. On realizing that Shiva, the lover of Parvati, was delighted in mind, the Asura Bana joined his palms in reverence, bent his shoulders, and spoke. Bana said, O great God, Lord of the gods, and crescent jewel of all the gods, I am very strong thanks to your favor. 1,000 hands have been given to me by you. They are only a burden to me, since except you, I do not find any match to oppose me having an equal strength. O bull-bannered Lord, what can I do with these 1,000 mountain-like hands without a fight? When my hands itch for war, I desire to fight the elephants of the quarters. By hitting the cities and mountains, I reduce them to powder. Being frightened, they fled away. Yama has been made a combatant with me, and the great fire god too, similarly. Varuna has been made a cowherd looking after my cows. Kubera has been made the in charge of couches. Nirti a chaperon. Indra has been defeated and forced to pay tribute. Please suggest a fight unto me, wherein my hands may fall shattered by the weapons hurled by the enemy, or cause him to fall in 1,000 pieces. O Lord Shiva, please fulfill this desire of mine. Sanat Kumara said, Becoming furious on hearing that, Shiva laughed boisterously and in a wonderful manner. Shiva, the remover of the distress of devotees, became very angry and said, Shiva said, Fie upon you, O haughty base Daitya, such a talk as this does not behove the son of Bali and a devotee. Very soon you will meet a terrible challenge to your bluff by fighting a great battle against person equal to me in strength. The battle will be sudden. Therein your mountain-like hands will be cut off by weapons and missiles. They will fall off like reeds or stumps of plantain trees. O wicked soul, when this flagstaff of yours, with the emblem of a peacock with a human head, which is installed in your armory, falls without being blown off by a gust of wind, you can decide within your mind that a terrible battle is at hand. Go to that terrible war, accompanied by all your generals. Now return to your abode where Shiva is present. O wicked one, you will see the great evil portents. After saying this, the Lord, who is favorably disposed to the devotees and is the dispeller of pride, stopped. Sanat Kumara said. After hearing that, Bana worshipped Shiva with palms joined in reverence in the form of birds and bowed to Lord Shiva. He then went to his abode. On being asked, the delighted Asura mentioned everything to Kumbhaja in the manner it had happened. The Asura Bana awaited the particular conjunction of circumstances eagerly. Once, by chance, he saw the flagstaff broken and fallen. On seeing it, he was delighted and he set out for war. He called together his entire army. He was accompanied by his 8 lieutenants. He performed the sacrifice for success in war. He surveyed the wine prepared for use in the course of war. He observed the auspicious signs in the quarters and set off. He, the son of Bali, the heroic warrior, capable of fighting with 10,000 persons, was very enthusiastic. He thought within himself, who can be that warrior, fond of battle, a master of the art of using weapons and missiles, who will cut off my 1,000 hands like reeds, or whom I shall cut into 100 pieces? In the meantime, in the month of Vishakha, after her monthly course, the daughter of Bana had her auspicious bath and auspicious rites after worshipping Lord Shiva. At night, she lay asleep in the well-guarded harem. It was then that Kama entered the place with Lord Shiva. She was seized by Krishna's grandson, sent by Parvati of divine Maya. She began to cry helplessly. He enjoyed her forcibly. Within a moment, he was carried to Dwarka by Parvati's attendants by means of their divine yogic power. Rubbed and squeezed thus, she got up crying. She mumbled various words to her female attendants. She even decided to give up her life. O Vyasa, she was then reminded by her friend of the fault she had committed previously. She then came to realize the entire incident that had occurred formerly. O sage, Usha, daughter of Bana, spoke sweetly to Chitralekha, daughter of Kumbhanda. Usha said, Dear friend, if he is the person ordained as my husband by Parvati, how can I obtain him duly? In what family is he born who has fascinated my mind thus? On hearing the words of Usha, the friend told her then. Chitralekha said, O gentle lady, how shall I bring that man who was seen by you in the dream and whom I do not know? Thus said by her, the daughter of the Daitya, blinded by passion, was ready to end her life. She was saved thus by her friend on the first day. O excellent sage, again the daughter of Kumbhanda, Chitralekha, of great intellect, spoke to Usha, the daughter of Bana. I can dispel your grief if such a man could be anywhere in the 3 worlds. I shall bring him who has captivated your mind. Please mention the details of his features. Sanat Kumara said. After saying this, she painted all the gods on a canvas together with the Daityas, Danavas, Gandharvas, Siddhas, Nagas, Yakshas, and others. Similarly, she painted men, the Vrishnis among them, the heroic Anaka Dhundubi, Balram, Krishna, and Pradyumna, the excellent among men. On seeing Aniruddha, the son of Pradyumna, painted, she became bashful. Usha's heart was filled with delight. She stood with downcast face. Usha said, Oh, this is the thief who has stolen my heart. This is the man whom I secured in the night. By his very contact, I became fascinated. I wished to know about him. O beautiful woman, please mention everything to me. In whose family is he born? What is his name? On being thus asked by her, the lady, expert in yogic practice, mentioned the name of the family. O excellent sage, on hearing about his family, the eager and passionate daughter of Bana said. Usha said, O my friend, ascertain some means lovingly, so that I shall regain my beloved husband in a trice. Without him, my friend, I am not at all eager to live even for a moment. Please bring him here strenuously. O my friend, make me happy. Sanat Kumara said, "On being thus requested by the daughter of Bana, O excellent sage, the daughter of the minister was surprised and began to think seriously. Then, taking leave of her friend and knowing him to be the grandson of Krishna, Chitralekha got ready to go to Dwarka with the velocity of the mind. When the third day after the 14th day in the dark half of the month of Jeshta elapsed, a Muhurta before the dawn, she reached the city of Dwarka within a moment by the aerial path, because she was a yogini. Then, in the park of the harem, the son of Pradyumna was seen by her playing with women and drinking wine. He was dark complexioned, but beautiful in every limb, smiling and in the prime of youth. When he lay on the cot, she encompassed him with the shroud of darkness by employing her Tamsa Yoga. Thereafter, she carried the cot on her head and within a moment reached the city of Sonita, where the daughter of Bana eagerly awaited her. Passionate that she was, she made various mad pranks, displaying her emotions. On seeing that he was actually brought, she became frightened too. When they began their sexual dalliance in that fresh contact in the well guarded harem, it became known to all in a moment. The man with the divine body who carried on illegitimate affairs with the virgin was found out by the person appointed at the doorway to the harem, with cane sticks in their old and emaciated hands, by means of gestures and inferences. They understood that he was a young man, very comely in features, daring, and fond of battle. On seeing him, the heroic men who guarded the harem went and told Bana, son of Bali, everything. The gatekeeper said, "O Lord, no one knows how this was done. Indra has entered your harem in secret and forcibly. He has outraged the modesty of your daughter by seizing her himself. O Lord of Danavas, of great arms, see him here. Do whatever is proper, we are not at fault." Sanat Kumara said, "O excellent sage, on hearing their words, on hearing of the defilement of his daughter, the Lord of Danavas, of great strength, became surprised." With this, I conclude chapter 52 and today's reading. Thank you. Jai Guruji.